name's Buntline, by the way. Should have told you before. Ned Buntline. Well, pleased to meet you. And, as you may have heard, I've made a certain amount of coin in my time biographizing these same notorious characters for the edification of the reading fraternity. Fact is, I can honestly claim to have put Buffalo Bill Cody where he is today. But that's another story. Right now, I was on the track of one of the last colorful survivors of a vanishing era, as the saying is, and since truth must at all times be served, as another saying is, I eventually took advantage of a brief pause in all this justifiable pesticide and rapped smartly on the splintered panels. "Come in shooting, then, if you're coming," coughed a raucous but well-modulated voice from within. "I ain't armed," I replied, "so I fear I can't oblige." And I stepped into the now tranquil room to find myself looking down the open-for-business end of a large-caliber Colt. "Friend of Wyatt's," I announced hastily. "Called to pay my last respects." "Are you now? Well, in that case," acknowledged Doc Holliday gracefully, sliding the shooter politely into a bunch of funereal lilies that Bat Masterson had sent him, "you'll have a drink with me." In view of my recent association with Wyatt Earp, you may think it strange that Doc and I had not previously locked horns. But you maybe know how it used to be on the old gambler circuit. Folks tended to leave cow towns by night and in opposing directions, and at this time, which to be precise was November 10, 1887, Earp and Holliday had not met for several years. Busy in their very different ways, of course, and neither being much of a hand at the epistolary as opposed to the epistolary art. Doc had never even heard of me, so he was at loss to account for my well-meant visitation, and after a glass or two, said so. "Well," I told him, notebook at the ready, "it's about the OK Corral." "What about it?" asked Doc, reaching for his six-gun once more. "You ain't also a friend of the Clantons by any chance?" I quickly denied any such ill-advised relationship. "No," I said, "it's just that there's one or two things about that little fracas of yours and Wyatt's has always puzzled me some. I mean, why, for instance, does everyone say you used a shotgun? You never had before." "And I didn't then," said Holliday, grinning like a friendly hyena into the neck of his bottle. "Never utilized that class of instrument, nohow." "Oh, sir. Why use a bone saw when you can use a chisel, as I used to say when I was a dentist? No, that particular rumor, dad-blasted lie." "And why does everyone say? I mean, a 12-bore ain't quite according to the code of combat, is it?" "Calling me a liar?" he inquired, pleasantly, preparing, it seemed, to fan a last hammer in a good cause. "No, not for a moment," I assured him. "But in that case, how did the story get about?" "It's the way stories have," mused Holliday. "Ain't it always the same? Do a friend a favor, and in no time you're known as a hooch-crazed killer with no kind of social conscience. Why, I could happily massacre a man who said a thing like that. I could cut out his yellow liver with a bowie knife," he added, thinking about it, "and then toss it to a hungry coyote. So'd poison the critter," he concluded, with an air of having done justice all round. "Even so, a story is a story, so I was fool enough to pursue the matter. It's one of the things Wyatt wouldn't talk about," I told him. "Odd that. You think he'd have been glad to put the record straight, seeing he was such a friend of yours. Well, there are some things you can't really talk about, not if you don't truly understand them. Never talked about it myself, come to that. But now, well, I guess it makes no never mind this late in the game. You see," he said, "like I've been civil enough to tell you, though I never carried such a weapon myself, there was another doctor at the